This is Eisenhower High School, a land of opportunity, and at the center of all of it is the very energetic Mr. Dewitt.
Mr. Dewitt is very inspirational.
He's a nice guy.
Dewitt's a pretty cool dude.
Mr. Dewitt, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Thank you for asking.
That's great to hear. Do you mind if we ask you some questions?
Absolutely not. Fire away.
All right. So first off, how was your experience as a student in high school?
My experience as a student in high school was pretty ideal, really. I got to be an athlete for the first couple of years of high school, and then was injured and couldn't participate in athletics, and from there was able to work in leadership to sort of fill that time commitment that I had done, and was sort of thrust into a pretty primary role in our ASB, and got to run assemblies and activities on campus, and just had a great time.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now, what inspired you to become a teacher?
Another teacher. When I was in the 10th grade, I had an English teacher that ran his English class as an English debate class, and that was the first time I'd ever gotten in front of a class, because like multiple times where I got to be comfortable for the first time speaking in front of an audience, and that sort of the motivation that teacher gave me, Mr. Burris, who's my all-time favorite teacher, inspired me to kind of take that path once I went into higher education.
That's great. Now, was it your plan to become a leader at Eisenhower?
No, it was my plan to be an English teacher at Eisenhower, and that was all that I wanted to do. When I was recruited to come here by one of our administrators, I was asked to come and give a tour of the school, and I loved it and instantly was fired up to be here and focused on being the best English teacher I could be. After about halfway through the year, you kind of pick your head up and look around and see that we have so many incredible students here, and there's so much opportunity here, but it didn't feel alive. It didn't feel like a high school should feel, and that sort of drove me into looking for some leadership roles and positions on campus.
All right. Now, can you please elaborate on the sale of Spirit Packs, We Are Ike, and the We Are Ike slogan?
Sure. When I took over the yearbook and newspaper program, the first day that I was officially in charge of the yearbook, I was told that my yearbook was in the hole. We were already down money because we didn't sell enough the year before. I found out that we had sold 441 yearbooks the year before I took over. And we had 2,150 students on campus. And you start asking the questions, why is that? And price was the major issue. And so that led me to asking, why do we pay this much? What do kids get for this? And in asking all these questions and having conversations with a number of different people, I started to come up with the idea of how to make the yearbook a more affordable item that would hopefully get more kids involved on campus. Before we did the Spirit Pack, roughly 850 students bought an ASB card. 441 bought a yearbook, and less than 100 people bought clothing items from the Spirit store. So to me, that seemed like a logical thing to put together as a pack. So I thought about what we had done at the middle school, which was like yearbook and PE clothes and ASB card for, I think it was for $30, right? So I thought, why can't we do that at the high school level? But we would need to figure out a way to bring money in. So We Are Ike was a name that Danielle Cook and I had talked about as sort of a slogan to get people more involved and to bring that high school spirit in. And because we had a change in administrative leadership, sort of the stuff that we started to do in the spring the year before had fallen apart because we had a different principal. And I asked if I could use the name for the club that I was starting, and she said of course. And so that name, We Are Ike, was used as the club that was going to be the face of Eisenhower in the public. So to speak with alumni and business owners about trying to help us subsidize the cost of the Spirit Pack for the students so we could make it affordable. And from that, it gathered momentum. and it caught on fairly quickly, and we sold 1,300 spirit packs the first year, and just underneath that number the second year. So the amount of involvement, we had more people have been to homecoming the last 2 years in a row on average than in the history of the high school. More people have been involved in sport and club than in the history of our high school. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that they see value in that ASB card and what that ASB card can mean to you, because it gets you access to being in clubs, to being in activities, to being in sports. And along with that, those t-shirts walking around our school, seeing that shirt and that logo on the shirt, all of a sudden, in 2 years, we have almost 2,500 shirts out on campus in such a short amount of time, based on, compared to the small amounts of gear that had been out before. So now that sort of feeling of pride and wearing your high school on your chest is seen every day, which just like, it can't make me any happier than it does. It's just great.
That's fantastic. All right, last question.
Yes, sir.
How long did it take you to grow your beard?
A beard is not a one-time growth. This beard's been with me a long time. So, this version of this beard is about 3 years old. Before that, it was just the chin. So it's gone through a maturation process over the years. But I've had a beard on and off since I was about 20 years old. It's at this point, it's a part of me. But this particular, if I shaved it off and started fresh, this would be about a month, I guess, to get it to look the way that it does right now.
All right.
The hair fell off the head and landed on my face.
All right.
Right? Is that it?
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for your time.